Happy Friday. How's everyone doing? I am so excited to be back for another live brand deal Q&A. I just got back from Hawaii, guys. I am wearing this Hawaiian shirt right now to try to relive some of the vibes. We just got back yesterday. So yeah, we left Saturday and then we came back yesterday. So I was still able to make the live streams work for both last week and this week. So I'm excited to be here and chat. Yeah, so if you're tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from. Today, I actually posted something on Twitter yesterday or the day before that I wanted to talk about initially because I think it's something that I am seeing and hearing a lot more about, which is just platform risk. So let me share my screen because I want to show you. Hey, what's up, everyone? Drea, what's up, D? Thanks for tuning in. I wanted to show you this tweet that I made yesterday because this is like, I don't usually get this much engagement on my tweets. So I wanted to show you this. So my tweet was, the casual person does not follow creators on TikTok. They just watch what their For You page serves them. Changed my mind. So this tweet got a ton of engagement, 172 likes, which is way more than I normally do. But there were a lot of really interesting responses on this. For example, Cody, you remember Cody from last week? He said, "I'm very careful about what content I interact with on the For You page to make sure mine is accurate as it can be, and I'm shown exactly the type of content I want to see." Jack Appleby said, "Some nuance here. They definitely mostly watch the For You page, but if they engage with the content they like, creators will often reappear on their For You page frequently, even without following. The relationship is still somewhat similar." And my response to him, which is that, one thing I found is that people can only vaguely recall TikTok creators' names or usernames. That one guy or girl on TikTok that does XYZ, right? It's not true for all, but generally, I think the creator follower relationship is less intimate. So the reason I wanted to talk about this tweet today is because, I think that it is a significant, basically, like, not every platform is made equal. Right. You really do need to diversify your presence. I think, obviously, TikTok is amazing and you can grow a very large following there very quickly. It takes only, let's say, one viral video to do it. But when it comes to the relationship that you have with your followers on a platform like TikTok, I think inherently it's less intimate than a platform like YouTube. If someone is sitting down and watching, a 10-minute video of yours, multiple 10-minute videos of yours, that's an inherently different relationship than a short form 30 or 60-second short form video, whether it's Reels, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube Shorts. I think that is something to really think about when you're thinking about your overall holistic presence as a creator. I wanted to pull up my Instagram to see who's on the Instagram chat. What's up, Jercel? Jercel said, "Truth bombs. Not every platform is created equal." What's up, Life Mama B? Thanks for joining in. DU said, "Yeah, oh my God, I was just talking about this yesterday." Caranel tuning in from the UK. Thanks for tuning in, Caranel. So I just think it's super critical. If you are a solo platform creator, if you have your largest following on one platform, I think that if I were to think about what my goal was for the rest of the year, or maybe for 2022, it would be to diversify, to really think about what other platform suits me the best, suits my audience the best. Because I think the one thing that people get into this trap, which is that they think they need to be on every platform and posting content on every platform regularly. And that's the quickest way to burn out. That's the quickest way to exhaust yourself, because it's impossible. You can't, especially if you're a side hustle creator, you're an aspiring up and coming creator, it's impossible to be posting on consistently high quality content on all these platforms. So my advice always is think about your audience. Where is your audience? And that's where you should go. So if you have, an audience that is younger, okay, yeah, maybe TikTok. If you don't have a TikTok presence there, maybe that is a platform that you want to be on. But if you have an older audience, maybe you want to be on Facebook, maybe you want to be on Pinterest. So it's not, and yes, obviously it's also about what platform do you like creating content on. That's a part of it, but like you also need to think about, where is my audience, and where, if I do want to find new audiences, where would they be? Where would I be likeliest to find them? Because I think that what a lot of people get into this trap, like especially on Instagram, where they're using tactics that worked in 2016 or 2017, 2018, and thinking that that will get them uh, discovery, that will get them exposed to new audiences. And really the only way to do that on a platform like Instagram is to use the new features. We talked about this a little bit last week, is to use the new features like Reels and like IGT, or like IG Live, and like, four-way live now, and like all the new features. So if you're not doing that and you're feeling frustrated about your reach and feeling frustrated about lack of discovery on a platform like that, you have to understand that you do need to adapt your tactics and your strategy as a creator. And so, you can extrapolate that to your overall platform strategy, not just on one platform, but like across all these different platforms. You need to think very strategically. Okay, like, where should I be spending my time? Where is the highest chances that I will be getting additional discovery, additional viewership, additional followership? And that's really the way to think about it as a creator. So that's number one, is just like to diversify your presence. And then the second thing I wanted to talk about is that do not assume that a follower equals a customer. A lot of creators, especially now, it's much more accepted and much less stigmatized to like sell things, right? To like sell an ebook, sell a course, sell some sort of premium product, sell merchandise, sell physical product. Whereas before, maybe 6-7 years ago, that wasn't as much a thing. There's so many more like startups like Cameo and like Patreon and like all these different startups that allow you to directly monetize your following, your influence. And so a lot of creators get into the trap of like thinking like, okay, if I just grow like my audience as large as possible, my followership as large as possible, when I ultimately do decide to sell something or monetize that in some way, that, I can relatively assume that, yeah, I've got all these people now, they're all going to buy from me. Right. And I actually, made that, a mistaken assumption early on, right? Where when I first launched my course, I was growing my email list and growing my following on social media. And I kind of thought like, I would have a larger impact right out the gates. And that really wasn't the case, because unless you are nurturing your followers to expect that one day you will sell something, it is kind of this whiplash, or this, maybe not, it's like a roller coaster, right? They don't know what to expect from you. And so they've only ever gotten free things from you. So I do think it is very important to kind of like prepare your audience, get them, allow them to be taken behind the scenes of when you're starting to create something. Don't just like go in your room. Don't tell anybody what you're doing. Craft this, like what you think is like this beautiful, compelling paid thing that you want to be like, aha, and you like release it to the world. Whereas like people will be like, well, I didn't know you were working on this. Like, what is this thing? I don't really know. Whereas if you spend an entire year or 6 months building it up, being like, hey, I'm like working on this thing. Here's the first iteration. What do you guys think? Like eliciting feedback from your community, all this type of thing. That is going to be, people are going to feel so much more invested, so that when you do ultimately come out with it, when you do launch it, they want to purchase it from you, because they have felt that they have been invested throughout the entire time, right? And so I think that's a mistake that I see a lot of creators making when they do ultimately come out with a product or some sort of paid offering, where they think that, okay, I have 50,000 followers, or I have 10,000 followers, or whatever. This is another thing that I see people make. There's like, okay, well, I only need 1% of people to buy from me, or even if like 5% of people buy from me, I'm still gonna be really happy, right? That is a fallacy. You can't get into that thinking. It's all about quality and not quantity. Yes, to some degree, it is a numbers game, right? Because the more people, the more chances that the more people that actually see your offer, the higher the chances that a certain percentage will actually purchase them. But it's really much more about quality relationships. And so the advice that I always give is that have as big of an impact one-on-one with people as you can. And so the way that translated for me is that I just started helping people in the DMs and the emails over the last year or two, year and a half that I've been pumping out content. I just was helping people one-on-one. And that is really what's going to drive the impact for you over the long run. Because when you help people like that without any expectation of things in return, it's ultimately going to pay off down the line. And so again, like, do not, Giselle said, such an eye opener, makes so much sense. Get your audience invested. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Keto Twins, what's going on? By the way, if you have any questions for me today, I am, like I said, I just got back from Hawaii, so I have this prepared, but the rest of the time today is going to be dedicated to answering your guys' questions. So please leave some questions in the chat today. Hey, Coco, what's going on? So yeah, again, just do not assume that a follower equals a customer. You absolutely have to get them engaged and prepared for what you are ultimately going to sell. So that's number 2. And then number 3 is owning your audience and how critical that is, because just as this TikTok tweet is that I was talking about, you ultimately, no matter what platform it is, no matter what the algorithm is, you ultimately do not own your audience until you actually have an email list, until you actually own them, and until you actually have a way to directly connect with them. And because whether that's, you probably see, if you're on my email list, those of you who are on my email list, every week, I put out a new piece of like long form content on YouTube, Instagram. I put out like 4 to 5 posts on Instagram, but in terms of long form video content, I do it once a week. And so in my email list blast that I do every week on Thursdays, I promote my video because, I have, 40 some odd thousand subscribers on my YouTube channel, but only a small fraction of percentage of those see it and watch it. And so I'm only doing myself favors by promoting that content to my email list. And sure enough, when I look at my analytics every week, I get another bump every time I blast out the video, because those people just didn't see it. People are busy, right? They're on all these different platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. They have tons of other emails in their inbox. They have their job. They have all this stuff, right? So it's your job. This is another thing that I think a lot of people get into this weird mindset, which is that they feel like they can only talk about things or promote things once. Right. So it's like they do the initial blast and then they promote it on, Instagram stories or whatever. And we'll go check out my new video. Right. And then they don't talk about it again. Right. It's like, no, you need to actually promote it 4 or 5 times. Right. Because the chances of, I think people think that they just don't want to like annoy people. No, like people just like literally are not seeing it. Think about like on Instagram that look, if you make a post, you can actually see, right? If you go into your analytics, you go into your insights, how many people it's actually reaching. And it's a very small percentage relative to the people that actually watch you, right? So don't be afraid to promote the content that you're working really, really hard on multiple times. People like it's hard to describe the dichotomy between the amount of time that people spend and invest creating amazing content, and then they spend literally like 1 to 3% of the amount of time promoting it. Why would you do that? You literally need to spend half the amount of time. It's like, it should be like a 50-50 thing. Yeah. Or maybe 60-40, whatever. Like, you want to spend a ton of time, obviously creating an amazing, compelling piece of content, but then you also need to spend a ton of time promoting that amazing piece of content, because what's the point otherwise? What is the point? No one's going to see it. Right. So do not be afraid to promote something multiple times. And the best way to do that is by owning your audience, because then you can promote it to them multiple times. We've got some, so again, to kind of put a bookend on this conversation, you need to own your audience. Start an email list if you haven't yet. I am flirting with 1,000 subscribers. Confession here. I actually do have 1,000 subscribers on my email list here. Woo! But I'm not celebrating yet, because I do not have 1,000 warm subscribers yet, because every 90 days, what I do is I prune my email list. So I go in and I there's actually an option in ConvertKit, which is the email marketing platform that I use, that I can say cold, I like filter by cold subscribers. And what that means is that a cold subscriber is someone who has not engaged with any of my emails in the last 90 days, meaning they haven't opened it, they haven't clicked, they haven't done anything, right? So what I do is I segment those into a separate, I put those into a separate segment, and then I run a re-engagement campaign. So I send them emails and saying like, hey, you haven't engaged with any of my emails in the last 90 days. Do you still want to hear from me? Essentially is what it says. Click here if you want to, still hear from me. And then if they click that, then it, triggers another tag, and then I can put them back into the normal list. But if after a week or whatever, I don't hear back from those people that I tried to re-engage, then I delete them from my list. Literally, I delete. So as of when I ran this test yesterday, I have 92 cold subscribers out of 1,015 or 1,016 or whatever that I have. So almost 10% of my list, or a little bit, 8% of my list roughly. So that's a lot of people. That sucks, right? It's like, man, those were like 92 subscribers that I fought tooth and nail to get. But the reason that you want to prune your email list is because it's going to improve deliverability. Because what happens is that if I'm sending out my email every week to 1,000 people, and a good chunk of them are not even opening it, that's a signal to all of the email providers like Google and Hotmail and Yahoo and AOL and whatever, that my email is not relevant. My domain that I'm sending these emails from is not relevant, right? And so it's going to increase the chances that it either goes into the promotions folder in Gmail, which sucks, no one ever clicks on, or it goes into spam. That's the worst case scenario, right? If you really do not do any sort of pruning of your list or optimization of your list, that's what's ultimately going to happen. And then that's going to drastically reduce your open rates and click-through rate, engagement rate, and everything. So I would much, much, much rather have 100% warm audience on my email list. And so I'm not going to celebrate having 1,000 subscribers until I get 100% warm. But just owning that list is absolutely critical. So what's up, Aubrey? Thanks for tuning in, Coco. We've got a couple questions here. Okay. D wants to know, what are strategies for earning an income on TikTok? Great question. So I know, D, you were messaging me privately, or you reposted your TikTok on your Reels, that you got 1 million views on a TikTok, which is crazy. Congratulations, that's amazing. And so D does a lot of like Costco Canada related content, I know, which is amazing. And so one of the biggest strategies for earning an income on TikTok, in my opinion, is actually approaching brands and offering to help them with their TikTok strategy, honestly, because so many brands, TikTok is still the platform du jour that every brand and marketer is like thinking about right now. There was this time period where a lot of brands were like, hanging out on the fence, and they were like, what is this TikTok thing? Especially when it was like potentially going to be banned last year, right? If you remember that, there was all this like question, and so brands were still like, oh, I don't know if we should invest on this platform that ultimately might get banned, right? Or like shut down in the US. So now that that's in the rear view, a ton of brands are thinking, okay, we need to like go full on now. What is like, because you got to think about the strategy in two ways. The strategy is, number one, what type of content are we going to post organically on the brand's TikTok handle? And then also, what is our influencer strategy, right? Are we going to be like compensating people to like post TikToks about us? Are we going to like send out a bunch of free product? What is it, right? What is our TikTok strategy? Because as you know, TikTok is a very different platform, unlike all the others, I would say, in that high gloss and super high production value is not what does well on the platform typically. What does well on the platform is low budget stuff, right? You're using a green screen, or you're talking about things in a very kind of like guerrilla way. It's not something that's like super planned out, right? So, all the brands that you've seen succeed on the platform have really embraced that kind of like low production value type thing. Not, again, there's a lot of brands that make really beautiful stuff on there, but still what I think generally is accepted by both creators as well as like consumers, what they actually want to see in feed or like on their For You page, is just realness, right? Is realness. And so I think one of the easiest paths, the quickest way to earn money on TikTok is to just target brands who either have a TikTok and have a really crappy presence where they're just like not doing it consistently. Because like on TikTok, it's about volume. Like you need to be posting like 4 or 5 times a day if you want to maintain relevance on TikTok, even as a brand, right? So that type of volume and pace and velocity is really difficult for a brand to maintain. So if that's something that you think that you can do, you can approach them and basically say like, hey, I hear, I see that you have a TikTok handle. I have some suggestions for how it could be improved. In fact, I could actually help you create a bunch of this content if you'd like. That is the quickest way, in my opinion, to get up and running and get paid right away on TikTok. And the best way to do that is by having your own TikTok. You don't even need to have a ton of followers, as long as you can use your TikTok as your portfolio. I feel like I talk about this a lot, which is that if you're a micro influencer, if you have let's say 1,000 to 10,000 followers or whatever on TikTok, you don't need to have a ton of followers per se. All you need to have is an understanding of the platform, right? And so if a brand can click on your profile and be like, oh yeah, okay, like, yeah, this person has a good number of followers. They understand, the TikTok format, essentially what works. That is absolutely valuable to a brand. And the absolute quickest way to get paid. I talk about this a lot, which is that thinking about yourself as a consultant, as a creator, that is the way to get paid, right? Because I think so many creators think that the pathway to make money, the pathway to monetize, is to build up a following on your platform, right? And then brands will pay you to essentially like talk about them on your platform. And yes, that absolutely is a way to get paid, but that is the long term way to get paid, because it's going to take a while before brands can have an understanding of like, okay, yeah, if I pay this creator, I want to tap into their organic distribution, their organic reach on their page. And that's like the main value proposition of this partnership. But until you get to that point, you can still make money. You can still get paid by, showing brands your expertise and understanding of social media and helping them create content, right? So that really would be, Coco said, oh yeah, also, I want to know about TikTok strategy. Also, I'm officially full-time on social media. What are some pointers you would give yourself if you were in my shoes? Congratulations, Coco. Everyone, round of applause. Let's see some like celebration emojis in the chat. That's amazing, Coco. Congratulations. I feel like it was just like, a couple months ago when we were talking about, your desire to go full time. So the fact that you did it is amazing. Congratulations. That's so, so cool. Yeah. So some tips of, if I was in your shoes. So, absolutely. Let me transport back, real quick. Let me do a shout out to some people in the IG chat. Yeah. Oh, Jercel said, totally. I forget to watch your videos until I see them come through in your email. There you go. Jercel is a case in point. She said, I forget to watch your videos until I see it in your email. So thank you, Giselle. Sophication joined. What's up, Sophication? Samia Bay. So what's up, Melissa? Sweet Melly Bakery. Angela, Desiree, Giselle. Amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, so what would I do? So I'm going to transport back. I'm going to go into a time machine, and I'm going to go back to 2014 when I quit my full-time job, when my first son, Liam, was 6 months old. 6 weeks old, and I resigned from my job. So first and foremost, it was something that my April and I, my wife and I, had planned for a long time. And the way that we got there was we said, okay, if we can make a certain amount of incremental income above my 9 to 5 salary, then I have to quit. That was so for those of you who haven't quit yet, this is the framework, I think, to think about it, which is that don't just quit for quitting's sake. Like, you need to have a plan, right? The plan is, okay, like, can I make an incremental income above replacing my 9 to 5 salary, not only replacing the salary, but additional income of buffer, right? Because as you know, as a creator, your income can be unpredictable. There's ups and downs associated with it, right? So I think it's important to have a buffer above your salary, about what you were making, to cover all your expenses, cover all your bills. And so once we got to that point, you have to quit, because literally you're never going to do it. Right. And so I want to talk through some of the doubts and the limiting beliefs associated with becoming a full-time creator here, because I had a lot of these too initially, which is that I got a lot of advice from people that, like, if I'm in a professional career or something like that, I'm going to ruin my resume, or I'm going to ruin the trajectory that I had in my career. I heard that a lot, which is that, I was in medical devices, right? So it's like, I'm going to quit and like become a social media creator. Mind you, 7 years ago, this was not a thing. People did not do this, right? So I feel like today it's a little bit more accepted, but back then people thought I was absolutely nuts, right? So, it's absolutely critical to remember, though, in my opinion, that it's not the career-ending decision that a lot of people make it out to be, right? Okay, yeah. Let's say that you have a gap on your resume, and a year later of trying to do this full-time thing, and you feel like it's just, you realize it's not for you and you don't want to do it anymore. There's absolutely no reason that you can't go back into the same career field that you were in. Yes, maybe it makes it a little bit more challenging to get a job, but be honest. Like, honesty, I feel, is always the best policy. If you can just be straight up, in those interviews, and people ask, like, what did you do for the last year? You can be like, I was creating content on social media. Like you could be honest, right? I feel like a lot of people feel like they need to hide this piece of themselves. And any employer, any interviewer, any person who is a good person and also is a company that you want to work at, understands that people are multifaceted. They have multiple interests. You don't just live for your job, right? I think that that's a limiting belief that people need to like think about or like dismiss, which is just that don't let that hold you back from giving it a go. Because the other thing too is, especially if you're younger, um, there is never going to be a better time to try to make a run at doing this full time than when you're younger, right? When you don't have as many obligations, maybe if you don't even have a partner, you don't have kids, you don't have a mortgage, right? This is the easiest your life is ever going to be, basically, right? I mean, maybe I'm simplifying things, but like honestly, right? Like this is the easy. Like, don't you think it would be that much harder to like try to do this thing when you have a mortgage and you have kids and you have all these obligations and things like that, right? So if there's ever a time to do it, it's when you're younger. It's when you're you're up and coming, you're an aspiring, maybe you're still trying to find your footing in your career. I absolutely think that's like the best time to do it. So Coco, to answer your question, so up until you make the decision, you go full time. I think that one of the most important things to do is just be absolutely organized and with your budget. If you don't have a budget yet with your expenses and things like that, this would be the time to do it, because now you don't have a predictable paycheck coming in every day. So it makes it really, really critical to ensure that you are managing your finances a lot more closely than you may have been in the past. Just because, again, you may have, unexpected expenses come up. The other thing too is that what goes along with that is starting to build up an emergency fund. Ideally, you would have built the emergency fund up before you quit, right? And typically the rule of thumb is like have 6 months of expenses before you quit to become a full-time creator. But if you don't, like, it would absolutely behoove you to like start doing that now, even if you just sock away a little bit of money here and there. It absolutely is critical, because even in a full-time job, right, things come up. Your car breaks down, right, or an unexpected bill comes up, or you have to go to the emergency room and pay a copay for urgent care or whatever, right? Things come up, and so I absolutely would recommend doing that. Another thing that I would really recommend doing that I wish someone would have told me about when we started becoming full-time creators is that starting to think about the future down the line, which is that if you do, down the line, let's say 3-4 years down the line or something, let's, say that your career takes off, which I know it's going to, Coco, you maybe want to buy a house, right? Maybe you want to get credit for something else. It's a lot more difficult to convince a bank to give you a loan if you are a freelancer, if you're, a freelance creator, because you don't have the reliability of the guarantee of a 9-to-5 income every month. And so what that means is that you want to keep very, very, even if you're a sole proprietor, even if you don't have a LLC or an S corporation in the US or whatever, you have QuickBooks, or you have some sort of bookkeeping software where you are, you are looking at yourself as a business. So that means having a separate, bank account for your business checking. I've talked about this before, that you don't need to have an LLC or an S corporation to have separate, accounts. That's really critical. So you're not commingling your business and your personal funds, expenses and income and things like that as a creator. Because what's going to happen is that when you go into a bank to try to go to approve for any kind of loan, a line of credit, a credit card, a mortgage, whatever, they're going to see, okay, well, you're a business. You're telling me this what you do as a business. This is how you make your income. Show me the last 2 years of your books, basically your tax returns and your books. And so you're going to need to have that information. It's not enough to show them like bank statements. That's not enough. They're going to want to actually feel the warm and fuzzy feeling that if they loan you tens of thousands of dollars, that they're going to actually get that money back, that you're actually going to be able to pay them back over the term of the loan. Right. So I wish someone told me that, because I would say it delayed a little bit. Like, once we realized that, like, oh, we really need to buy a home. Like, we started being a lot more prudent about like how organized we were being about our finances. So that would be something that I would absolutely start right now, is just get organized with all that stuff. So that you don't run into that down the line, and you've got all your ducks in a row when you need it. So hopefully that's helpful. I'm going to look at the chat while I'm thinking of some more some more ideas. Yeah, Coco says, good tip. I'm no stranger to budgeting. Yeah, I have the emergency fund, but I just don't have a huge following or relationships with brands yet that will bring in the income. Yeah. So, going back to that other tip that we were talking about, like, um, I really do think that Coco, you create some really compelling content, and I absolutely think that going after, putting on the consultant hat as a creator and going after brands that you really admire and being like a content creator for hire initially to hone your chops and build your portfolio is a really, really quick and easy way to make some good money. And so I would absolutely start there. I would maybe even start locally in your community if there are some businesses that you really admire, that you think could benefit from your content creation expertise. There is so much less competition trying to go after like local brands and local businesses than there is like large brands, because they have a budget for advertising. They have a budget for marketing. They're trying to get people in the door, right? So if you come to them and be like, hey, like pay me a couple $100 a month, I will make content for you. That's very compelling. They don't have to do it. They can concentrate on other things because at the same time, like, probably content creation and marketing and advertising is not their expertise. Maybe it is, but a lot of small businesses, it's like a afterthought for them, right? So if you can come in and be like, hey, I'll do this for you for a relatively inexpensive amount, that's a win-win, right? And I think that's a really easy, if you could collect like 3, 4, 5 clients like that in your local community that you're doing that for, that's a real easy way to like make 1,500, $2,000 a month doing that kind of thing. Easy. What's up, Chris? Thanks for tuning in. He says, I love this show. Thank you so much. If you don't know Chris, I actually just recorded an interview on Chris's channel, all about live streaming and all about the importance of live streaming. So if you're not subscribed to Chris or you haven't seen that, go check out Chris's channel. He has some great content on there. So thank you, Chris. And he's the one who helped me dial in my whole setup with the live stream cam and the lights were all me. Sorry, Chris, I'm not going to give you credit for that, but the microphone and the camera and the mixer and all that stuff. So thank you, Chris, so much as always for everything. D and Fam said, I am a blogger and creator for a local company. It's a great way to gain more creator experience. And honestly, it's like a dream job plus the consistent income. Amazing. D, can you tell us a little bit more in the chat about how that came about? I know you've talked about it in the past a little bit, but I would love to hear a little bit more about that, because this is exactly what we're talking about how you can forge these types of partnerships and make some good income. It's not like a brand deal per se, where you're like utilizing your own platform, but you're making money and you're helping the brand out. It's kind of like a win-win. Oh, Chris said, NC Media. This is the channel, not Nice Chris. My bad, Chris. Sorry. Yes, go NC Media. That's the one where the interview is on. Chris switched his account. That's so funny. So let us know, D. I'm curious. I'm gonna take a swig. In the meantime, yeah. So when we were in, just a quick little preview. I want to show you guys something really cool, and I'm super excited about this. Speaking of giving you guys a little behind the scenes before I release something, hold on, let me find it. Y'all, drum roll please. I am working on merch, y'all. I am so excited. I asked you guys on Instagram and Twitter about some ideas of like different merchandise and stuff like that. And so I've come up with the phrase monetize. And I feel like that really fits my brand, which is like, I am all about monetizing your presence, regardless of what platform you're on. Right. So, whether it's YouTube or whether it's Instagram, or whether it's TikTok, whether it's brand deals, whether it's merchandise, whether it's products, right. It's all about monetizing yourself as a creator and how critical that is to sustain yourself. And so this is the initial design. The Z is like coins, and then like down the sleeve, like coins are falling. And I love this. And there's like going to be, this is like work in progress. Here's a blue version. This one I really like. It's like a bunch of check marks, or a bunch of like X's and then check marks to represent, it represents a bunch of different things. Like number one is like how long the process is to become a creator and to be able to monetize your influence, and how you absolutely cannot give up, because you will get that yes one day. And that's all it takes, whether that comes to brand deals. Maybe you're going to have to get 50 no's to get that one yes, or how many times you had to pump out content on social media before you finally had something hit, or so you finally had something that that you were able to monetize, or that you were able to like make some money on a viral YouTube video or something like that. So again, these are just some like initial designs, but I'm pretty excited. I'm partnering with a guy named a designer on Peter that I met on Twitter. So that, yeah, I think I'm gonna do shirts and hats initially, like that say monetize. So if you guys have any other ideas of like cool little designs that might come up. Yeah, D says can't. Yes, here we go. D says can't wait for the merch. Yes. And Coco said, is it going to be an eco-friendly fabric? Oh, great question, Coco. I haven't even picked the fabric or the distributor or anything. I need to figure out that. I'm just on the designs right now. So thanks for the heads up. I'm going to definitely look into that. Yeah. Oh, NC Media says, I want the shirt. Yes, there we go. I just thought it would be fun. Honestly, I thought it'd be fun to like have, like, honestly, I think that it's important. Like, I feel like we have a community. We have like a really intimate tribe here. And so just a way for us to kind of like identify with each other and be like, oh, got the monetized shirt on. He's part of the Creator Wizard fam, right? So I just thought that would be fun to have. So yeah, I'm stoked. I just wanted to give you guys a little preview behind the scenes there. Yeah. Okay. So D mentioned here. Okay. So D talks about how she got this deal with this small business. I pitched a 3-month partnership, and instead I was offered a part-time permanent job with no exclusivity requirements. Boom. And D also said it started out as a gifted opportunity, and I turned to paid thanks to Justin, and they were hooked with my personality and work. That's amazing, D. And D also said, I'm getting paid exactly what I would if I applied for this job, say on Indeed. It feels so good. So I love this perspective, D, because you turned, what you like, be open to other ways that you can work with this company. I think a lot of creators have a one-track mind when it comes to like how they can work with brands. And clearly, D says in this, in this scenario, she, the brand said, well, I'm not interested in like this exact thing that you're pitching, but how about this thing? Right. And D was like, well, okay, sounds good, because, you never know. That's the other thing is like when you are pitching brands, for the most part, you don't really know where their head is at when it comes to their marketing strategy, right? Or exactly what they're trying to accomplish at that given moment with their promotions or their campaigns or whatever, right? You can do your own research. It's something I actually talk about in my course, is like how you can look at their social media and what they have posted, what they're currently posting, as well as what they may have posted like a year ago at the same time. You can do intel and research on, like to get a good assessment of like actually what types of things that they're interested in, what they're trying to what they're trying to drive from an art marketing perspective, right? And so when you're pitching them, you can use that as intel to be able to kind of like figure it out, right? And say the right things, say the right words. Hey, I noticed last year you were promoting XYZ. Are you still going to be doing that for the fall or for the holiday season or whatever? These types of things. But you never know exactly where they're at. Maybe they're changing up their entire marketing strategy, right? Or maybe they're not really into that thing and it didn't really work, right? So I absolutely think it's critical to just go in with that mindset of just being open-minded, right? You never know what they're going to say, and but that doesn't mean that you should go in with a pitch that is extremely vague. Okay, what that means is that you should go in with a very specific pitch, right? And say, I propose to do this for you, right? This is how much it's going to be. Are you interested? And you just like put them on the spot, right? Because there's 3 things that will happen in that scenario. Number 1, they'll say, no, not interested, right? And what do? Do you say, okay, thanks anyway? No, you don't say that. You say, okay, well, if you're not interested in this, how about this? Right? And then figure out what they say. The second thing that they can say is what happens a lot, and what happened in D's scenario was they said, that's really interesting, but we're actually more interested in like doing this. Are you interested in that? And then boom, you say, sure, sounds good. Let's hop on a call. Let's talk through that. And then the third thing they say is, yes, let's do it. How quickly can you do that? Right? That perfectly fits within our budget. Right? So do you notice how in all those scenarios, you did not like put your tail between your legs and like go home, right? No. Yes. Maybe there's like a point after you've like pivoted and you've tried to like pitch them a couple different angles, and you keep getting no. That's when you say, okay, fine. I'll reapproach them in 3-6 months. But in all of those scenarios, you are trying to, if they close a door, you go and open a window. Right. So you always are thinking about, as a creator, to just like not take no for an answer, and to just really try to figure out what this brand is trying to accomplish and how you can help them fix something. Because I think a lot of creators are very, how do I say this in a nice way? They're very self-centered, right? When it comes to their platform, their presence on social media, the content that they're posting. And when they pitch a brand, it's coming at it from that angle, from the selfish angle, from the narcissistic angle. I know that sounds weird, but imagine when you can flip the tables and try to put yourself in the brand's shoes. Try to put yourself in the shoes of their mindset of like, okay, what is this brand trying to accomplish? What type of consumer does it seem like they're trying to target? Because when you put that mindset on, your pitch will likely change. It'll be less about like, oh, my audience this, my content this, blah, 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 blah. No, it's about how the content that I can create for you will help you to enable some sort of business transformation for you, or it will help you to drive more sales, or will help you to increase your conversion rate, or it'll help you to increase foot traffic in your door, right? It'll help you to do XYZ for them. You are solving a problem for them, right? It's not just creating content for content's sake. It's not just for saying, oh, we're doing influencer marketing. No, like more and more brands are wanting to see results, right? So how are you going to give them that result? And in the beginning, when you're doing a pitch, you don't know what the result is going to be, really, right? And you're just kind of guessing, and that's okay. You do have to make but again, the guess is educated. It's an educated guess, right? Based on the research that you've done. So again, like go into it with that mindset where it's not about you, it's about the brand, right? If you were wanting to work with them, if you're wanting to work with them to actually like post content on your platform, or you're going to create content that they can post on their platform organically or repurposing for paid media or whatever, right? It's about them. It's not about you, right? The reason it's about you is because they're paying you. It's a transaction, right? Yes, it's a partnership, but it's also a business relationship, right? So try to like not make it about you if that's possible. And yeah, Dee said, take the course. It's gold, actually gold. I'm proof that it works if you do the work to follow the framework. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Dee. And Dee made an absolutely incredible testimonial video for me. And I'm so touched by that, Dee. And I can't wait I'm like getting ready to like update my page with all the information about the course. And so I'm going to be putting your testimonial on there, Dee. And so I'm one thing a little behind the scenes here about the course. So the course, I think maybe I told you, maybe I didn't, everyone, about like when the next cohort of the course is going to be. I was going to pull up my calendar real quick. Okay, let me find this here. Okay, so cohort number 4 of Brand Deal Wizard is on the following dates. The launch window opens on September 16th, which is a Thursday. It's going to be a 5-day launch window, ends on September 20th. And the first class is going to be Thursday, September 23rd. It's going to be for the next 4 Thursdays. So the 23rd of September, the 30th of September, October 7th, and October 14th. So it's a 4-week course. Yeah, I'm super excited. I am. So one thing that's pretty interesting to me is I'm working through the kind of the next cohort and incorporating a lot of the feedback that I got on the previous cohorts to improve the course overall and things like that, is the language that I'm using to talk about the transformation that I'm able to help students achieve. Because I still remain pretty convinced that I'm not doing a great job communicating like how fundamental the shift is when you take my course. Because I literally have helped like students go from like literally to like 10xing the amount of money that they're making on their brand partner. People have told me that I've like changed their lives, which is like amazing. It's like I can't tell you how fulfilling that is to me, because like that is what this is all about to me, is like helping creators understand their true value and what they're worth and how they need to be charging accordingly for that. And so I just don't think I'm doing a great, like the testimonials help, but I don't think I'm doing a great enough job with the actual words on the page, if that makes sense. So, when you go to my, like, let me actually pull it up. When you go to the page where my course is, there's a lot of information about the course, about what's involved in the course. Let me share this so you can see it. So I have my tagline as like, from second guessing your sponsorship strategy to confidently tripling your rates in 4 weeks flat. And then I have a bunch of information about statistics about how many creators are doing it full time, some of the reasons why people aren't able to charge what they're worth. So there's just like a lot of information on here. And I've just been like thinking about it. I've been talking to a lot of other course creators and things like that. And I just don't think I'm doing a great job communicating the value adequately. I'm using words that maybe aren't familiar to a lot of creators. Like, for example, on cohort number 1, this tagline was different. It was something like, from second guessing your sponsorship strategy to confidently tripling your brand deal pipeline, or something like that, in 4 weeks flat or 6 weeks flat, because I was doing a 6-week course at that time. And the word, like, upon reflection, the word pipeline is something that I, as like a business type person, use, but pipeline is not really a word that most creators use, right? And so it's like, this is the evolution as a creator of like doing things like this, is like, putting out products like this and offers, and trying to help people improve and educate creators, is like ensuring that I'm like adequately communicating it, and I'm using terminology and like words that resonate with people. So it's a constantly evolving process, because it's like, again, I'm on the fourth. This will be the fourth cohort, and I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface of like how to get better at articulating the value proposition. D said, would you be interested in partnering with creators to showcase their transformation? Interesting. Let us tell your story for you. After all, I'm an excellent storyteller. That's very interesting, D. Tell me what you had in mind. Like, what do you mean? Like, like a webinar, where you hosted a webinar, or like tell me more. This is interesting to me. I would love this because I feel like it'd be a much more compelling sales pitch to have a creator alumni who did the course to do the pitch instead of me, right? But that's interesting. Let me know what you think. Oh yeah, D said me sharing how the week's went. Let's talk about that, D. Absolutely, that's super interesting. Yeah, for sure. I'm totally interested in that. Super interesting. On the Mandel piece said, I'm trying to get a consistency into my flow. Would this course be for creators that have already succeeded at getting consistency in the long term? Great question. So this course is actually specifically for creators who already have some experience doing brand partnerships, because it is more of kind of an intermediate to advanced level course. In fact, I actually say in there, like, one of the requirements is that you have done at least one paid brand partnership. And so my course is it's much more about like, how do you introduce systems into your strategy, so that you can have predictability of income. So, okay, like, I've got these 3 brands lined up, that paycheck is going to hit, in 90 days from now. I've got these 3 brands in my pipeline right now. I'm, still negotiating with them. And that, if you're negotiating with them now, it's still going to be, another, let's say 4 months or whatever, until that payment actually hits your account. So I talk about pitching strategies. I talk about all about pricing and negotiation strategies, about how to, like, massively multiply the amount you're charging for the same amount of posts, for the same terms, the different levers, this type of thing, how to nurture brands, so that you, are, ensuring that brands that you partner with in the past, you're able to turn those into long-term deals, this type of thing. So yeah, that's kind of like what the course is all about. If you have any, specific questions, feel free to DM me, but it sounds like kind of where you're at. That's exactly what I built the course for. So let me know. Yeah, and D said, I don't want to give the juicy details, but the walkthrough of the emotions and if it's worth it. Week by week framework put to the test, real pitches, and so have shift of confidence over the course. Oh my goodness! All right, D, let's talk about this. Let's talk. We'll take this offline, and let's definitely talk about it, because that sounds super interesting to me, for sure. Yeah, and the other thing that I'm very conscious of is like, how can I get more creators like you involved, DB, right? Because at the end, fundamentally, like, most of like the best feedback that I've gotten about the course is just like the support, the community, of, being surrounded by other creators who are in a similar position as you, going through the same things. You can share your pitches, like, get feedback. That is the most valuable thing. So getting more alumni involved is absolutely, obviously we have the private community where, people can engage and things like that. One of the other challenges that I've faced, and D, maybe you have some opinions on this, or anyone else who's taken the course in the chat, is that because the course is cohort based, and there's kind of like there's a 4-week period where there's a lot of activity in the private community and things like that. Once the course ends, there's a little bit of a drop off for sure in terms of engagement that I've noticed. So I've tried to stimulate it and keep people engaged, but I think as I do more and more cohorts, it'll improve in terms of the amount of engagement in the group in those lull periods, but again, it's like something I'm thinking about. And honestly, like so much of this process of like coming out with this program and things like that has been a learning endeavor, right? Because I didn't know, I still on most days feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. Right. But it's like, I'm getting better and better. Like the first cohort was good. And I've just been like, improving it. Like the fourth cohort compared to like the first cohort, it's like literally a night and day difference in terms of like, the material that I'm teaching. I pulled out a lot of stuff that felt extraneous, that I got feedback that was extraneous. On the Mandel piece said, many thanks, sir. Of course. So, I pulled out a lot of stuff that was extraneous. I've streamlined it. So, I don't know. This whole thing is so exciting to me. And I'm also hustling like crazy to get my next course gifted to paid done, because that course is going to be fully asynchronous. So that's going to be on demand. That's going to be a totally different experience, right? It's not going to be cohort based. It's going to be like on demand. One of the advantages too about doing something cohort based is that you can get feedback week over week, and then incorporate it into the next week's content. If people didn't like the way you did something, you can like kind of, improve it for the next week. But with fully async content, you just kind of like come out with it, right? So so it's hard to get feedback, and when you've like pre-filmed all these videos and done like downloadables and supplemental material and stuff like that. And so one thing I'm thinking of doing is being very transparent and kind of like almost like building the course in public almost. And I'm going to be like, hey, like, this is what I'm working on this week. This is kind of what it looks like. Right. So it's like my theory is that that will be the way to get good feedback. Oh, we got a cameo. Hey, Boo. What's up? Come here. I didn't expect the cameo today.
Hi, friends.
Come here.
Well, I'm upstairs watching the kids.
I know.
The kids are here because we just got back from Hawaii yesterday.
Hi,
How
honey.
are you, friends?
How are you?
I'm great.
Thanks to Honing Home for joining, Jercel.
Jercel is here. Hey, girl. Hey, DM fam.
So I was just talking about, Dee was actually just saying about like what I would think of like getting some creator alumni to like do some sort of presentation or something to talk about beyond a testimonial of like what the impact of my course was. That was really cool. I was like, man, it'd be like, who better to like sell it than me or than an alumni,
That's true, but I think a testimonial is enough. Like, I don't think an alumni got time for that. And plus, they would charge you a high fee because you taught them. They'd be like, sir.
Dee's offering, though. Hold on. Dee's offering, though.
Oh, Dee's offering?
Dee's the one who suggested it.
Okay, if you offered, but in my mind, I'm like, you already taught all the people in your class to charge, so you about ready to have to pay 10 stacks.
That's true.
10 stacks for somebody to do a whole thing on that.
The thing about it though is that like a lot of other like course creators I see, they have like a very active alumni community and like people like helping support other creators and things like that. So, or not like brand deal courses, but like just courses in general. Like there is a lot of value in having alumni involved,
Yeah, and I think yours will grow. You just started, honey.
Yeah.
It will totally grow, and yeah, I should probably be part of it. But I ain't got time for that.
So yeah, I was just telling him we came back from Kauai and I'm wearing the shirt because I'm trying to live those vibes.
I know, and it's cold, so I have the kids in sweatpants like me and a hoodie because we're gonna go to Costco because we have no groceries. So I figured we could just go to Costco.
It's gonna be 95 today, right?
Okay, I have a tank top, but Costco stay cold,
That's
sir.
True.
Costco stay cold, so I have the kids in pants at Costco. Yeah.
Were you coming here to like kind of hustle me to like so we can do our Costco thing?
No, I got them dressed. I was thinking we could go out to get and eat bagels, and I could bring Lunchables for the kids because they don't want to eat bagels. Hey, Chris, how are you? I love me some nice Chris. Hey, Chris, I think the first time like I ever seen you was at a Dancember. You were doing a Dancember and we were live, and I remember I think it was Benji's dad dancing, and I remember you were there and I was like, "Oh, that's Chris." Yeah, you're so nice. Yeah, so I'm trying to get Justin to take us out to eat bagels.
Okay,
And
mission accomplished. I think I'm gonna sign off a little early today, guys,
no,
because
no, no,
April.
you
No, no,
deliver, sir.
no. It's okay. I
You
thought you were
got
telling me to to
no.
leave.
He has 6 minutes. We don't play this game.
Oh,
If you
okay.
say an hour, you do an hour.
Okay, what questions you got for April then? Because
Yeah, what kind of
you know you're going to get
an
a
honest
colorful response.
any question? I will answer any question, okay? So if you have any questions, any random question, I got you, girl and guys. And they and them and he and she and everybody, because I'm very
Oh my
inclusive.
gosh, I got to share something,
I'm
guys.
inclusive.
I got to share something real quick. This is exciting. Okay, again, behind the scenes. I now, in an upcoming stream, got my first live stream sponsorship for this stream, you guys. I am so excited. Restream, the company that I use, the software that I use to do this live streaming right now on like all the different platforms, is sponsoring me. Yes, I'm so excited, guys. So catch the sponsorship on a future stream, but I just wanted to let you know that that's coming. So I'm super excited. I'm like a huge fan of Restream. So like it honestly evolved naturally. I joined their affiliate program randomly. Like I didn't, I was like, oh, I want to join it because I like it. And then I started talking with the affiliate manager, and they like really loved the content that I was creating. And then they connect me with the sponsorship manager. And so it just evolved really, really naturally. So I'm super excited about that. So just wanted to share the good news.
Yay!
What do we got here?
Favorite bagel.
Favorite bagel.
Oh my god. Okay, so what's for No Cook Friday right now? It's gonna be a bagel. And then for dinner, I don't know, but yesterday it was National Oyster Day, and my best friend Nini got me into oysters, so I had to order oysters. I love oysters.
Yeah. April, yeah, and I tried them, and didn't suit my stomach very well.
Justin took one little bite and he got so sick from it.
I think honestly, I have a shellfish allergy. Honestly, I really think I do, because I took one bite and I got really sick. So not good.
Yeah, I love oysters. They're like my new crack attack.
What's for No Cook Friday? D says.
I want oysters.
Did you save any from yesterday?
No, I ate it all. Yeah.
Who else we got joining the chat?
We're gonna do bagels, and my favorite bagel is on a jalapeno cheddar Asiago. You know the Asiago spinach with a jalapeno on it, and I like it with eggs and cheese. Oh my gosh.
Thanks to we got Mela Fidel and JVC for joining.
Yay, friends! Yeah, we just got back from Kauai. The timing is weird. Right now it's 11, but it would be like literally 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
No. It's 8.
Oh, 8?
It's the other way.
Oh, it's 8 a.m.
That's why they slept in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, why they sleep in so long?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
Because it was like, 6 a.m. by the time they woke up, or 6:30.
Oh, it was. They were waking up a lot, you guys.
Yeah. So by the way, April, speaking of sponsorships, we just posted another Lunchable sponsorship on her Instagram. So make sure to go give it some love.
Yeah, we had a lot of sponsorships. I like to spread them out. I usually like to have like only one sponsorship a week, if possible. But because of when it was approved, I had to post it like, back to back to back to back. But every time I do a sponsorship, I always have $100 gift card giveaway, whether I verbally say it or not. I always thank you guys for your comments and for your likes, and also because the reach is very low, so it's like it helps me out too. Like, since you guys are engaging, comment, liking, it helps me out too, because I'm not a fraud. You guys know, I saw this one girl actually just today. She has 3,000 likes, but only literally 5 comments on a sponsored. Okay, and it's not even a picture of her face, her kids, or anything. It's literally a picture of the food. I'm like, that doesn't get 3,000 likes. It literally doesn't. Meanwhile, I get like hundreds of comments, yet I only get like 200 likes on a sponsored picture. So who's the fraud? I would rather have 200 likes versus like 5 comments.
The one thing I will say,
Yeah.
just behind the scenes of this sponsorship, that's kind of interesting is that we literally turned this around in like 24 hours because by the time we had to deliver it, it was we shot it on a Monday and turned it in Monday night.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, so it's like it's just another value proposition when you're as a creator. If like you can be dependable and when there's deals that have like a crazy turnaround time, like this particular agency has come back to us over and over because we're so dependable. And so they know that we worked with Lunchables in the past, so they know that like we can do things really quickly, and just like we always are super accurate, and like we had literally 0 revisions on it. So it's like, if you can be professional and be organized and stuff, like that'll be a huge asset in your favor as a creator.
Yeah. And also, if they want you to do like for example, an influencer backs out of a deal, right? And they need a last minute influencer to deliver within 24 hours. I'm not saying I'm the backup because I know I'm not, because they messaged me a while ago. But if they want something delivered within 24 hours, you can charge like a bonus amount.
Sure. Oh, totally.
You can charge a couple thousands more, depending on your followers and engagement and stuff. But you can charge thousands upon thousands more for the rush. Totally. It's like FedEx rush fee. I am a FedEx rush fee. You know what I'm saying?
The service fee.
That I am the FedEx service fee. It's like that. You can charge a little bit more. And also, if you want to get more sponsorships, and if you are like a legit influencer who does not buy their likes, because I don't apps with people who buy their likes, leave comments on someone's sponsored posts. And sometimes the brands will find you, because I commented on a friend's Blue Air purifier Instagram picture just because I love the family. Like, they're one of my favorite like family. And they messaged me and they said they found me from that person. But it only works if you're a legit person. Like, it doesn't work if you're not legit, because if you're not legit, you're ruining the whole influencer economy by doing that. Yeah. Sometimes when I see people okay, sorry.
No, you just can't. They can't hear
But okay, so when I see people who comment on my sponsored posts, and I know they're like one of the people that buy their likes, in my head, I'm going to say it out loud with you guys because I know it's a safe zone, okay? But in my head, I'd be thinking to myself, they ain't finna work with you. You buy your likes. Why do you think they chose me and not you, sis? Because you buy your likes. So keep it moving. They will not work with you. They got software that knows you buy your likes and your comments and that you buy them in different countries. It's so easy to see who buys their likes. Like, it's literally so easy. I click on the likes and it's all these people with like no pictures from different parts of the world that is not where they live. Come on. Can I be part of your like people, the fraud account one? Can I be part of that live? Justin's doing a live with a special guest, and they're going to discuss fraudulent activity of influencers. Next week on Friday.
I need to prepare that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on Friday. He going to be discussing fraudulent activity, and I'm coming.
April is the fake like FBI.
I'm the FBI agent of this. I literally, I want to be hired by brands to see whether or not people buy their likes. When I'm retired from this social media game, trust, I'll still be in the background. I'm going to be that FBI agent. I'm going to be I'm going to be the consultant. Trust, y'all ain't free from me yet, ever. Okay, I'm going to be 70 years old, be like, this influencer buys their likes. Hold on, let me take my dentures out. That person buy their likes. And I ain't finna like them. You're not going to hire them. Like, with my one eye, because I got like eye problems already. So yeah, I just thought
this live stream definitely took a turn. I didn't expect that.
I just thought I'd share. I'm the detective, okay? Oh my God. Call me. What's the detective's name, honey?
You're a gumshoe.
Call me Inspector Gadget. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna eat a bagel soon.
Okay, yeah. On that note, y'all, hope you thank you so much for everyone. Someone screenshot that, please. Oh man, doing the dancing too.
Honey, okay,
I'm dead.
If any of y'all know how to twerk, can y'all teach me? I'm trying to learn. Thank you.
My goodness. I think April still has some of the rum from the Hawaiian drinks, maybe. Anyways, thank you so much for everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you back next week, next Friday. And April and I and
Hold
the
on, I
kids are
got
gonna
something to
we're gonna
say.
go get some bagels.
Hold on.
Yes.
Y'all, like Justin don't like it though. It's our 10-year wedding anniversary. It's out and popping tomorrow and tonight and every day. Okay, just so you know.
10-year wedding anniversary
Just so
tomorrow,
you
guys.
know.
10-year wedding anniversary. Come here, boo.
Yeah, 10 years
We're married-
together.
10. Can you believe it? 10. We got married
I
10
believe it.
years ago today.
10
or
years.
tomorrow.
10 years, you guys.
Oh my goodness. Give me a kiss.
10 years
10 years.
tomorrow. Who said I'm finna
10
kiss
years.
you on
Give me
camera,
give me a kiss. Give me a Okay. I'm gonna turn this off so I can get a real kiss. All right, guys. Have a good weekend.
Bye, you guys.
See ya. Bye.
Sherlock Holmes, yes.